Today is Monday, July 27th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we are beginning There's a Solution. That is Chapter 2. We will read the first paragraph on page 17. I think we're a little bit ahead of the game there. And out of the 12 and 12, we're still on Step 3. We will read page 39. And of course, we'll read NA's Just for Today and Al-Anon's Courage to Change. So with that, hope you all are doing well this morning, my friends. It is the beginning of a new week, new opportunity to work the steps, to make those goals. But the nice thing is, you just got to worry about doing the next right thing, right? So with that, let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. All right, my friends, so if you recall from yesterday's reading, we just wrapped up Bill's story, and it was beautiful, sharing his experience, strength, and hope, and the foundation of this program, and how his interaction with Ebby and the program of action and working with others truly saved his life. So now we are on Chapter 2, There's a Solution. We'll read the first paragraph today. Chapter 2, There's a Solution. We of Alcoholics Anonymous know thousands of men and women who were once just as hopeless as Bill. Nearly all have recovered. They have solved the drink problem. We are average Americans. All sections of this country and many of its occupations are represented, as well as many political, economic, social, and religious backgrounds. We are people who would normally not mix. But there exists among us a fellowship, a friendliness, and an understanding which is indescribably wonderful. We are like the passengers of a great liner the moment after rescue from shipwreck, when camaraderie, joyousness, and democracy pervade the vessel from steerage to captain's table. Unlike the feeling of the ship's passengers, however, our joy in escape from disaster does not subside as we go our individual ways. The feeling of having shared in a common peril is one element in the powerful cement which binds us. But that in itself would never have held us together as we are now joined. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Step 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. And yesterday we talked about how dependence on a higher power has actually helped a lot of people, even veterans during World War II that were away from their groups, that somehow managed to stay sober. So this dependence upon a power greater than ourselves actually leads to more freedom. That's power. That's a powerful notion. So we're on page 39. We will read the first paragraph. So how exactly can the willing person continue to turn his will and life over to a higher power? He made a beginning, we have seen, when he commenced to rely upon AA for the solution of his alcohol problem. By now, though, the chances are that he has become convinced that he has more problems than alcohol, and some of these refuse to be solved by all the sheer personal determination and courage that he can muster. They simply will not budge. They make him desperately unhappy and threaten his newfound sobriety. Our friend is still victimized by remorse and guilt when he thinks of yesterday. Bitterness still overpowers him when he broods upon those he still envies or hates. His financial insecurity worries him sick, and panic takes over when he thinks of all the bridges to safety that alcohol burned behind him. And how shall he ever straighten out that awful jam that cost him the affection of his family and separated him from them? His lone courage and unaided will cannot do it. Surely he must now depend on somebody or something else. NA Just for Today, July 27th. We do recover. After coming to NA, we found ourselves among a very special group of people who have suffered like us and have found recovery. In their experiences, freely shared, we found hope for ourselves. If the program worked for them, it would work for us. Basic text, page 10. A newcomer walks into his or her first meeting shaking and confused. People are milling about. Refreshments and literature are set out. The meeting starts after everyone has drifted over to their chairs and settled themselves in. After taking a bewildered glance at the odd assortment of folks in the room, the newcomer asks, "Why should I bet my life on this group? After all, they're just a bunch of addicts like me." Though it may be true that not many of our members had much going for us when we got here, the newcomer soon learns that the way we are living today is what counts. Our meetings are filled with addicts whose lives have turned completely around. Against all odds, we are recovering. The newcomer can relate to where we've been and draw hope from where we are now. Today, every one of us has the opportunity to recover. Yes, we can safely entrust our lives to our higher power and to Narcotics Anonymous. So long as we work at the program, the payoff is certain. Freedom from active addiction and a better way of life. Just for today, the recovery I've found in Narcotics Anonymous is a sure thing. By basing my life on it, I know I will grow. Al-Anon's Courage to Change, July 27th. I take to heart the words in the suggested closing that say, "Let there be no gossip or criticism of one another." I try to leave my judgmental attitude at the door. Unfortunately, I pick it up again the instant I get into my car after a meeting. Nobody drives well enough to suit me. The car ahead of me goes too slowly and I am forced to get very close and push it along. The driver behind me does the same thing. Not to be intimidated, I swear at him and drive even slower. Don't they know my rules of the road? In other words, through constant criticism and expectations of others, I isolate myself and act like a victim. Whatever happened to practicing the Al-Anon principles in all my affairs? Do I really think that I can fully reap the benefits of the program by practicing unconditional love for a single hour, 2 or 3 times a week? It may be a start, but only a start. Today's reminder: I can't keep thoughts from coming into my head, but I have a choice about whether or not to entertain those thoughts for the next hour. Am I making the choices I want to make, or is habit making my choices for me? A change of attitude means a change in my thinking. I will look at the principles that I am practicing today. Quote from William Law: "We must alter our lives in order to alter our hearts. For it is impossible to live one way and pray another." All right, my friends, that concludes today's reading. And buddy, does that last one hit hard? Has anyone else ever walked away from the meeting and it's like, oh, I feel great. My tank's filled back up. I feel good. And then maybe as soon as, just like this one, the ride home, already those pervasive thoughts start to creep in and expectations start to return. And I'm thinking, you know what? If everyone would do things my way, things might work out. If they just do this or that. Sadly, I'm guilty of this. But hopefully I'm getting a little bit better over time. I don't know. But, I catch myself. And as a matter of fact, I was walking with my wife around the neighborhood. And I was talking about some of the insecurities that I had. In talking about it, confessing it with somebody I deeply trust, it kind of exposed to me how ridiculous some of the thoughts that I was telling myself were. So shedding light on that, I realized how silly I was. But if I had not confessed that to somebody I trusted, maybe that marble would still be rolling around in my mind right now, maybe even getting bigger each time. And then I love the there's a solution part where, yes, it is amazing. I love the analogy they make of a shipwreck, right? And the survivors of a shipwreck, no matter whether they're in steerage or they're at the captain's table, what binds us all together is this life-threatening event, right? Just like our alcoholism. But as it's already foreshadowing at the end of that paragraph, that's not the only thing that binds us together. It's also the solution, the program itself, and the support that we offer each other in that solution. So there's two things, right, that bind us together. Even though if I were to look around the room at any fellowship that I attend, my hobbies are going to be very, very different from many of the others. My occupation is different from many of the others. We would normally be a group that would not mix. However, there is a sincere, genuine fellowship in my experience that I've never felt anywhere else, where I can be as real as I could possibly be, no matter how ridiculous it sounds. And I'll look around the room and some people nod their heads and go, yep, I've done that. Yep, that was me. And when somebody else shares, I feel the same way and I say the same things. And then I have a sponsor that I can go to, or other trusted friends in the program that I can go to and really get down to the nitty-gritty stuff, the real stuff that has been bothering me. That I know what's best for me and know the program and might even challenge me a little bit. What a blessing it is to be sober today and have these spiritual tools and this family in recovery. And speaking of which, this podcast family, there are so many of you that I can name, whether you check in on the Spotify comments or an email, or maybe you've never reached out before, but somehow you've been listening to the podcast. I'm so grateful for you today. I'm grateful that you and I share the same exact disease, the same exact problem, but also the same exact solution. And if you're not sober today, my friend, I want you to know that you are loved and you are worthy of recovery. And I pray that today you get the help that you need and you don't have to do it alone. We've got your back. But as always, my friends, I don't speak on behalf of NA, Al-Anon, AA, any other sect or denomination. I'm just a joyful drunk in this lifeboat of recovery, honored to be here another day. And for giving another set of 24 hours, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.